Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in the last video we were discussing regarding these options while executing the Docker command, and we are left with two more, like the minus name, and then we can provide some name to the container when we want to run the container and we want to provide some name. If you don't provide the name, Docker will provide some name, and if you provide the name, it will override that name. So before I do that, let me see Docker if I have anything running here. So we will stop that. So there is no image and there is no container, so we are good here. We don't need to stop anything. So let's see, let's run the container Ubuntu again, but this time we will give some name to our container, right? Ubuntu container. So we are saying, okay, my OS, and then we are saying ubuntu. So we can also say like, okay, minus IT. We can give some we can use IT, like put standard input and output things, and then we can say ubuntu. Okay, so now it's running here, right? So if you now in our machine is like some Windows machine, and where we are running Ubuntu container. It means a virtual machine is created inside our Windows machine, and that virtual machine is Ubuntu. So we can execute all the Ubuntu commands like ls -al, and we can see all this in this container, in this machine, virtual machine, what are the files and folders are present. Now let me go to another command prompt so that I can see what are the name of my container, right? So let's say Docker. So we can just check the container running in our machine, right? Local machine. So if you see, right, let me maximize it. So if you see here, right, there is a container ID which is given by the Docker, and the name of the image is Ubuntu. The command means the entry point. So till now we have not gone through this, so we will discuss this maybe next. So if you don't provide any entry point, it is taking the default entry point which is given by the person who developed this image, and they said like, okay, whenever somebody runs this image as a container, this is the entry point, this is the first command that will be executed. And then status is up 43 seconds. So this time this container is not stopped yet, because we are running it in the interactive mode, right? And then there is no ports, so we'll learn about ports in the next video. And then what we want to learn, we want to understand is this name, right? So this time if you see, it's saying my OS. So this time it has not used the default any name which is like provided by some dummy name from the Docker. Instead it's using the name we have provided here in this place, right? So now guys, let me run one more container here, docker docker run minus IT, and this time I will say minus name my OS1 ubuntu. So what I'm doing is like I'm creating one more container. So now I have two containers running, right? See, this container is, let's open one more command prompt so that we can see now. Docker ps -a. So if you see, right, we are running two container and the ID is different, but the image is same. And if you see, let's maximize it, and you can see, right, the name is this. So these two containers are two different machines running in our local machine. So we have two virtual machines running in our system. So if you create any directory or any folder in this machine, it will be not reflected in this machine. Okay, so these two are different machines and they don't know each other until it's there is some programming is done to map that. They don't know, so they are treated as two different machines. So if you create any files folder here, it will be only to my OS1. And if you create anything in this one is like my OS, then it will be here only. So these are two different machines. So this is also I want, like whenever you run a container, it's always a new. It's not like it will refer to the whatever is running. It's the new container it will create every time, new instance of that container. So now let's understand. Let me close it. I think we can close it. Okay, so I can exit it. So let me exit from here, and what I can do is I can close it. We don't need it now. We just wanted to see all the container names. Even you can see now also. Let's see docker ps minus e. So we still, there is a two containers. So one is up and one is exited, right? So one container is still running. If you want to stop this container, you can say like, okay, docker stop, and you can use the container ID or the name of this container. So this container name is my OS, which is still running, right? So you can just copy it from here and paste it here, and sorry, something happened wrong. Okay, let's see, MYOS. Now it's stopped. Now it's a docker ps minus e. So now both the containers are stopped, but they are still there. Because if you want to remove, you have to use the docker system docker. So they are stopped. Container is not running. That's the most important thing. If you want to remove, you can just say like docker system prune minus a, and it will just remove. If you say yes, it will remove. Now if you say docker ps minus a, so we don't have anything. So we are good now. Now we are left with one more, and that is the entry point. So let's see what is this one. Okay friends, so let's use the same image docker, and I will say docker run minus it, or will not say minus it because we don't want that standard input output. We just want to run that docker run, and I will say minus entry point, entry point. Entry point is date. So I'm saying, okay, when you run this, so it's saying, okay, entry point means first command to be executed after container is created. If container has already entry point, this command will be overridden that entry point. Okay, so we are saying, okay, when you run this container Ubuntu, just use this entry point. Okay, let's see. Since we removed the container from our machine using docker system prune minus a, so it's downloading again. Good. Now, since we have not used interactive mode, it's the docker, the Ubuntu container was running and then it is stopped because there is no other instructions. But we want to see this docker ps minus a, and let's maximize this and see. Okay friends, so this time if you see these names, right, it's saying some vigilant. So because we have not provided any name, so it is using some default name there. But if you see the command, right, it's saying date, because we just said entry point is date. So that's why it's just overridden the first. But this command date is nothing here. If you use something like, okay, some command is there or something is there, it will execute that. Since date is not a command, so it's just like this. Let's see if we can do that. 1 second. How we can do that? Docker run entry point is equal to date. Okay, so this is not the date here. So let's see. Let's see, 1 second, guys. Okay, friend. Yeah. So I think, yeah, we are good. The command is date. Like if you say entry point date, let's add minus it here so that we can see what is happening. Minus it, and then we'll say ubuntu. See, it's displaying the date, right? So this time we are saying, okay, well, our entry point is date. And if you go to that docker ps minus a command, you can see the name, the command is date. Previously it was something like something like bash or something. Let's see, let's do that also. So if you say docker run and you don't provide the entry point, you just say ubuntu, ubuntu, right? And now if you say docker ps minus a. So this time if you see, right, this is the default command bin bash. So that is the default entry point, but you can override if you want. So yeah, that's it for this video, friends. Just you can provide your comments. If you have any questions, you can just subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.